Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the LCUS Split 5 Finals. My name is Kenos, and I'm joined by an all-star cast for Analyst Desk for these finals. We'll start down the line here. We've got Nickelbacher. How's it going, Nickel?
It's going pretty good. I'm very excited. Finally get to see White Wolf in the finals and then not taking anything away from Phoenix. I think we're going to be having an awesome set of games tonight.
Yeah,
Cannot be more excited.
completely agree. Then we've got Prowler. How's it going, Prowler?
A little sad that it's not an option 12 logo on either side here, but I'll make do by being a member here.
And option 12 being second and fourth split champions, not doing anything for you.
No.
All right. Then we've got Fawn coming in here. How you doing, Fawn?
I'd be happier to be playing, but I'm happy to watch still.
Boy, we're having a downer analyst desk for this split. All right. And last but certainly not least, got to get lucky. How's it going?
Oh, another day to be lucky. What can I complain about?
I'm sure you can find something like the other members of the analyst desk. So I'll hand it over to you guys then to talk us through Phoenix versus White Wolf. Nickel, you were saying some stuff earlier. You want to follow up some more with that?
I mean, we've seen these two teams grow a lot. I mean, Phoenix last split, Phoenix Rising, and then we got White Wolf, which has always been a very powerhouse team throughout the entire LCUS, being the most enthusiastic players usually and bringing a lot to the table. I feel like this is a big battle between the egos between these teams. Also, we got awesome players on each team. I mean, we saw White Wolf last week. I know that you and I, Kenos, kind of had our doubts that White Wolf could be able to pull it through, but they actually proved us wrong. We just see a lot of growth coming from that team, where they're able to anticipate and be able to retaliate when needed. And then we have Phoenix, which is just an all-star team, as it were, for what they need to get done. They have their mind in the right place, ready to get to. My mind's going blank. I'm already forgetting the English language.
All right.
Uh,
Well, well,
uh,
while you're losing English, I'll hop over to gotta get lucky for this next question here. Um, how much do you think the knowledge of the team's lineups is going to come into a factor here? We were making lots of jokes about banning Swain out against White Wolf. Do you think that's going to hamper them?
Well, I think you're looking at the most clear win conditions in pick ban for White Wolf. The win conditions are a little more varied and a lot more opportunity for Phoenix. White Wolf hasn't shown they can win without Swain, so they're going to have to do that tonight because I'm assuming that Phoenix will ban that.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of win conditions, though, we saw something really interesting um, coming out of the Phoenix Northern Storm in that game two last week, where Northern Storm got a clear advantage by just jumping on Ace in the mid lane and not letting him breathe for a second. Prowler, do you think that that's going to be a way White Wolf could win as well, or was that a fluke?
I I think that was a way that Northern Storm found to win, but Prime Eden doesn't seem like the type of player where that's going to be an issue. I think you're going to see more of Prime Eden doing what he was doing against Option 12 in the semifinals, and that worked really well for him. Push the wave really hard and let him suffocate into minions as opposed to into the Death Chamber.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So, Fawn, if you were running the bans for White Wolf, as Gotta Get Lucky said, we're looking at Swain possibly, or maybe even guaranteed to be banned. But if you're White Wolf, what do you focus on for Phoenix? Do you want to ban out Ace some more? You want to get away Thresh, for example?
If I'm White Wolf, it's hard to ban out Ace. I mean, you're not going to do it. Uh, so if there's a champion he plays that definitely counters what you're going for, I mean, you definitely want to ban that champion out. But I don't know if focusing on Ace would be the right choice. Maybe focusing on top lane, getting Foden a little more of a lead up there might help them a little more. I think Primadin or Primadin, however you pronounce it, I think he's going to be fine being in a farm lane against Ace, but like you said, there's no point in banning out Ace because he's not going to be in a kill chamber.
All right. Speaking of focusing on top lane there, go back to Nickel here for this one. Lofi has been playing a lot of top lane champions. They're just annoying the hell out of people. Um, how many top laners do you think they should focus on banning for Lofi?
Oh, for Luffy, I thought we were just gonna say Swain for White Wolf, but
Like if they're gonna focus on banning someone other than Ace, top lane does seem
for
like a good place to
sure,
go, right?
I Luffy has definitely shown that he has a kit. I feel like that we've had a couple of weeks where target bans have come through for Luffy.
Hmm. Yeah,
Trying to
like
think
take
what.
out the Swain and the Nasus, so they're really focused on. But he was doing
Yeah,
Teemo stuff and things like that.
but
So
then you're also kind of taken away from White Wolf as well, because those are two champions that their top laner as well uses.
correct.
So it's really, do you take something away or do you try to pick something
Hmm.
away from them? And honestly, I think that White Wolf is probably going to focus more on Ace. No offense, Ace, but it just seems like the logical thing to do for them. But then it's the same exact thing. Like, how much do you ban him out?
Hmm.
Is it really
It's
worthwhile though? I mean,
for
we're
sure.
looking at the guy who's still in fourth in DPM last week, despite the fact that he was dead half the game. So you can argue that the strategy was effective in gaining gold, but it certainly didn't slow down Ace's damage output in the mid lane.
All right. So then I'll turn to you, guy, to get lucky for that that bit of insight there. So let's say that you're on White Wolf going into the banning phase. What are your three bans? What are you gonna be focusing on?
I'm gonna take away the Sivir because it's just way too safe of a pick. Envy's one of the three individuals who outdamaged Ace and DPM, with Pointy Ball and Fox Eden being the others. Definitely take away Sivir. Uh, I might look to take away some of the Gregosaurus supports. Otherwise, yeah, I think you got to focus ADC and maybe take away the Singe because that's really the only thing I think
So like
that.
Singed, Sivir, and Thresh then, or
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you can pick away Sivir and then let them have the Thresh, sure, but
hmm.
uh, otherwise it's tough to do.
Yeah, that is one of the difficulties with the way that pick bans work is that Phoenix is going to get the first say. So you're not going to get those four bans in round one at least, as it
No.
were.
No, and if you look at Gregosaurus's history, he's far and away best on engaged champions. Having experienced it, I mean, I pray to heaven in Champ Select that he takes a mage support and not an engage or uh, melee support. It's yeah.
So you'd be comfortable then with with the bans that you listed there. For example, Ace then locking in a Nivea or Vigar first.
Um, yeah, that's always the question. I mean, do you really want to take away? Do you really want to give him those safe picks? I mean, I think you'll be able to, based on Ace's play patterns, be able to ban those champs out in the second set of bans because Ace rarely gets his picks in the first set. Very rarely.
Hmm.
So if you want to play on a weakness in Phoenix's pick ban strategy, it's that Ace isn't going to pick until after the second set of bans.
Hmm. Absolutely. And Prowler then. So the opposite question over to you. Your Phoenix, obviously, most people want to ban out that Swain. What else are you going to be focusing on for bans? Would you think if you're White Wolf
Yeah,
or
someone who played
against White
last
Wolf?
week. Someone who played last week against White Wolf, I'd recommend targeting the Swain. Thought we had a pretty good counter picking it with the Mundo and the Ornn, and it just didn't seem to make a difference. Foden's done really well in that.
Hmm.
Outside of that, I think you try to force Primeaton off of some of his wave clear champs.
Okay.
We saw with the Lux, him using the ult just to clear the wave and then roam around. They were making a lot of plays. They look like a really good team when Arcane Soda and Primeaton are working well together, moving around the map as a duo.
Hmm.
So anything you can do to limit that movement to lock him into mid lane and force that to be a farm lane where they both stare at each other is great.
Okay. All right.
You gotta prevent the roams.
So top and mid lane would be more your focus.
Yeah, you take away the Swain. If you take away the Kled, from Foeden, then you're
Mhm.
kind of moving way down his champ pool, and toss a bane onto whatever you don't think you can handle with Prime Eden.
Okay.
If that's the Lux, if that's the Vel'Koz, whatever Phoenix needs to do there. For my 2 cents, it's take away the Vel'Koz.
All right. Awesome. And it seems like we may be getting close to starting, but Fawn, I was going to ask you. We've been hearing a lot about bot lane, top lane, mid. We haven't been hearing too much about the jungles here. What do you think about the jungle matchup we got with Arcane Soda and LNZ?
I think both of them kind of have a broad enough base that you're not going to do much by banning out any of their champions. I think that's where a lot of this game's going to be decided, though. Arcane Soda and Primadin working together, like Prowler was saying, it's really dangerous when they're on the same page all the time. And then same with Alonzi Tardis and Ace. If they're on the same page and if they're able to get roams together, that's going to be very dangerous too. So I think what they do in the jungle and who's able to get better warding, who's able to get the scuttle crabs, that's going to make a big difference in this game.
Yeah, and I suppose carrying on the jungle aspect of it, do you think that they need to respect Alonzi on that Nocturne like we saw last week?
It depends on what they plan on playing. I mean, that Nocturne ult, whether he's doing anything with it or not, when you don't have vision, you're kind of screwed. I mean, that is annoying. And when we played against that last week, we banned it just because of the alt alone. The champion itself isn't that strong, but that alt is awful.
All right. All right, sounds good. I am wondering very much how the jungles will play into this, because I mean, like you said, they both have a very deep pool, but LNZ, sometimes seems to change up what he's picking based on the strategies Phoenix is running. So maybe if White Wolf can disrupt that, that could help them out a lot.
Yeah, it'll be tough. Once you know what they're playing or what they want to do, it's easy to ban it out. But since they can kind of pivot easily, it's hard to really ban it out in those first 3 bans.
All right. So,
And I'm looking at it the other way, where I think the junglers, as long as the games stay close, if one team doesn't pull out to a 2-0 lead and you have a do or die third game, I think you're going to see Zach and Sejuani interchange between the two junglers.
really,
Yeah,
I was
I'd
thinking there'd be
expect that. Amumu as
yeah,
well
a Mumu was what I
wouldn't
was
be
going to say.
surprising.
Yeah, you can throw Mumu in there. The same, a tanky engage,
Hmm.
kind of,
Hmm.
hello surprise type tank to come in.
Hmm.
And the jungles and picks are going to play a huge part in this because White Wolf has the second highest average vision score per game and per minute, and Phoenix has the third highest deaths per game. So you've got an obvious opportunity there. They also have the second lowest kills over the entirety of the split. So they obviously gain their lead by looking at objectives, macro, farming, not by getting kills. So if you can get enough of a kill lead, that's something you can use to propel yourself to victory.
True. I mean, we have seen both of these teams stage some pretty notable comebacks as well, though, from falling behind. So we don't necessarily want to count them out even when objective things do come in. I think that if there is that strong of a lead, the question will be if the team that does manage to pull that out gets to close the game before the other side comes back.
Oh, absolutely. And it's going to be about making a move where the other team isn't because Team Phoenix is usually pretty split up. They have the worst KDA this split as well. So there's not a lot of group opportunity that they're making use of.
Hmm. Yeah,
They're very low on the assists per game as well.
yeah, it does seem as though what they do is once you head into the mid game, um, they manage to like split up. Like you always see Ace free farming, Envy free farming, Lofi free farming, rather than necessarily unifying. So that'll be interesting to see if they're able to take advantage of that because White Wolf was doing very well when they were moving as a unit last week.
Yeah, absolutely. And if Phoenix decides to stay split up, that's clearly an advantage to White Wolf. So
All right. Well, I think we're gonna get rolling in just a few moments, and then I'll hand over the analysis to you, lovely people at the casting desk. But if I can get each of you, just so I can criticize you later on the record about who you think's gonna win before we head into champ select, starting with Nickel.
I'll go with the underdog still. Last week it seemed like to pan out. I'll go with White Wolf. Numbers.
Oh, you've been saved. We're to champ select.
Ooh,
So
never mind.
take it away, analyst desk.
All right. So we kind of put. There goes the Swain right away. I was gonna say that was probably gonna be the first thing coming through, and I guess that I'm gonna be correct on that. So just to gauge everybody, what are you guys expecting out of here? Are you thinking that there's gonna be more Nivea? I'm actually surprised at that. I thought that was gonna be more, like somebody was saying, Sivir was gonna be banned out first.
Well, it could be that they're hoping that that Phoenix will ban it themselves. I mean, there's obviously pick ban strategies to go into here. You want to make the most of every ban, so. But there it goes.
Yep. And the Kog'Maw, that was actually something I was kind of looking for, was because we saw Pointy Ball doing that the past couple of weeks, and Morgana. No Morgana plays tonight, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, given Ashway's, I believe, 62% win rate on the champ, it makes sense. Though Sona is actually her highest win rate champion.
A lot of times that gets banned away from her, though. And Vigar, I agree with that. Just getting that delete button out of the way. Not something that Ace pulls out a lot, but still something that we've seen a lot.
I'd be amazed if Phoenix doesn't first pick the Singed here.
They're going to go with a Nocturne, it looks like.
Oh, nice little bait.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really hard to first pick the Singed here, given that Fox Eden hasn't shown any play on it over the course of the split or in the last week. So probably third pick is where we'd see that if it's going to come through.
We got the Ashe and the Malzahar coming through with White Wolf and Singed coming through.
Malzahar and Ashe fit really well into what White Wolf could be looking to do here. That's very much the starts of a good pick comp.
Yeah, for sure.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a Zac come out. He's great in the pick comp too.
Absolutely, and you're looking at Phoenix going for a split push comp. I mean, Nocturne is great at collapsing if the split pusher needs help, so.
Kind of a bad news bears day for the Ashe too. If you're in a mobile ADC, you don't want to see a Singed and a Nocturne on the other team.
Right.
I don't want to see either, so I would fully agree with that statement.
Mass is finally coming through for Faux Eden.
He hasn't had that in a long time, I don't think. It always gets banned.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fun pick into the Singed though, because you can't really proxy farm as the Singed. You're giving over free stacks. It does do a good job of keeping the Singed pinned into the lane. I like the pick. That was a good idea.
I won't be denied.
So it's Juane. Okay. Now just kind of bringing out the other picks here. Going to be focusing on the jungle, it looks like.
I'd like to see Thresh banned out by White Wolf here. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
offers
could
a
be
lot of safety.
You could be seeing Pointy Ball thinking that he's got the skills to dodge a Thresh, and that is not going to be the case.
And it looks like that Thresh actually does get banned through, so nice
Okay.
profit hat
There
there.
you go.
Yeah, definitely looking to get that scaling rolling for the Ashe. Don't want her to sustain the harass of a Zyra.
Something to keep an eye on. Arcane Soda's got teleport showing right now. You would hope that he's going to correct it over to Smite before the game starts, but that's always one of those things that you can kind of forget in the finals. You don't want to be the jungler who didn't take Smite in the finals.
Okay, and if you're listening right now, do it. And it looks like Ashway is going to get the Sona. So let's see if that still is her highest win rate champion.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to help out the Ashe. The amount of poke that can deal can really counter what a Misfortune can do in lane, because Misfortune traditionally looks to get ahead early with all that poke. Because she's not going to scale as hard as an Ashe will.
And I do like this pick as well because we see some prime White Wolf here. Because even last week we saw a lot of roam coming out of the bot lane with the mid laner or the top laner. With that Sona just keeping everybody healthy.
Well, and the speed ups are going to be key as well. You want to kite a Nasus around a fight. Getting a speed up from a Sona or a Lulu is outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. Galio in bot lane again. We saw Greg play that a lot last week.
All right.
There, okay.
So I think we got all of our picks. Amumu ADC? No.
Support.
Oh, we've got a heal jungle now. We're really going hard tonight.
All right.
Now all we need is a ignite out of Singe to go along with his teleport.
All right. All joking aside, let's just go down the list here and get everybody's opinions out of the way. So, gotta get lucky. Let's start with you. What do you think of the teams that we're seeing between Phoenix and White Wolf right now?
I'm gonna give it to White Wolf based on the amount of pick they have in this one.
Okay. It does seem like that they have a lot more. They're going with their comfortable picks, right? We do see something that's been tried and true for the last couple of games. We have Nasus coming out of the woodwork that hasn't been seen in a while, but I think it's going to be a good choice for them. Yamumu, we've seen Arcane Soda do a lot of just wraps and then just pretty much make everybody immobile, and plus no pushover.
Well, and Amumu's really the only major jungle left with a huge AoE CC. I mean, Sejuani now only affects one champion compared to her former status.
Crown has been taken to a sad little mummy. All right, Prowler, what are you thinking about these teams looking at White Wolf versus Phoenix?
So the Nasus to counter the Singed is a great pick. I'm a fan of that. You have Phoenix going with a poke comp and White Wolf going with a pick comp, and I don't see how White Wolf gets to the back line through the Galio and with dealing with the Singed and the Nocturne's antics. So I'm more of a fan of Phoenix's comp. That said, if you're letting a Nasus free farm, you're not going to be in a good place. And Malzahar is kind of the forgive all champion. So I favor White Wolf, even though I think Phoenix outdrafted them just because of that top lane matchup. I think that was a poor choice.
Okay. And from your status in the jungle, what are you thinking about the jungle matchup here between the Nocturne and the Mumu?
I'm a huge fan of Alonzi's Nocturne. We've talked ad nauseum about the ult being, just itself being a problem. This comp here, where you're trying to get onto an Ashe, you need to get to the backline. The ult's going to be used more offensively as opposed to just the defensive, turn the lights out. So I'm happy. I think Nocturne's got the advantage over the Amumu, especially with the spell shield. And I think that covering up the champions with the ult makes it really hard for the Amumu to find a good ultimate to use.
Okay. And WD Fan, really quick, you got 50 seconds on the clock. What are your final thoughts of these teams we're seeing right now?
I want to cheer for White Wolf here, but I want to see what they can do to protect the Ashe. If Ashe is safe, I think they can win. But as soon as Nocturne or Singe get on that immobile champion, it's not feeling too good for me. That said, once it goes late, obviously Nasus and Ashe, when you hold someone in place with a Mumu and Malzahar, they'll just tear through you. So the later it goes, the more I favor White Wolf, but they got to keep Ashe alive.
Okay. So it sounds like a lot of mobility is going to be a key point in this matchup. It sounds like that a lot of people are favoring White Wolf. All right. I'm okay with that. Let's see if they can pull it off. Kanos, with 3 seconds left, I'll leave it to you.
All right. Thank you for that, Nickel. And we're heading straight into the champ select. Jeff, what do you think about the teams we're going into here? Jeff. Uh-oh. Jeff's gone. I'm here with Jeff.
Yeah.
There
I'm
you
here.
are.
I'm here. Here we are. Here we are at the finals. Oh my goodness. So much hype. Having to just listen to that analyst desk for the last like 10 minutes just got me even more excited than I could have been before. Um, for me, I favor Team Phoenix's comp in this because I just worry about a potential lack of damage from the side of White Wolf. I mean, you're running a 2 carry comp until Nasus comes online, and then obviously if Nasus comes online, it's game over. That's just how Nasus works. Literally, we have World Breaker Nasus as the skin here. That's appropriate because this is a champion that just carries a game or loses a game. That's just how Nasus as a champion works. But Phoenix with, I mean, Nocturne is like literally one of the best champions in the game to just force and engage, force the issue, force tempo. And so I think Phoenix just having in general more engage tools, if they use that correctly, they're in great shape. If they don't have, say, like a 5k gold lead by 20-25 minutes, then White Wolf should win, because I do think White Wolf outscales. So it's just going to be about, I think, the early jungle play, and honestly, as much as I hate to say it, the early Drake spawns. So much can sometimes depend in games like this on if like the team that drafted the early game comp gets early game Drakes. So we'll see what happens there. Overall, I like both teams' drafts, to be honest. As our analyst desk pointed out, the Nasus into Singed pick is brilliant. Absolutely could become a huge deal there. I haven't seen Foeden play Nasus before, but I'm sure he's capable on it. I mean, Nasus is not a mechanically difficult champion.
Well, on that subject of good picks, I liked Phoenix for the skins just because they got such like the red and white thing going for them.
That seems appropriate given their team name as well. Absolutely.
So.
We don't have Pizza Siver to analyze, unfortunately, this game.
I'm betting we are not going to see Sivir at all today, but we'll see what happens.
Good. I don't need to be made hungry, as they do every time they pick that champion.
All right, Ace immediately starting out with some aggression in that mid lane. And we've got red buff and blue buff, normal kind of stuff for the junglers.
It was interesting, just a week ago during the off week, I had a conversation with Gregosaurus about Ace's preferred champions. And he was telling me that he thinks that Xerath is actually a better champion for Ace than Vigar. I disagreed with him. I thought that Ace is more potent on Vigar than Xerath. Not to disrespect his Xerath play, but I just thought he's more capable of carrying a game on Vigar than Xerath. But here we have White Wolf. They banned out the Vigar. They left the Xerath up.
I think people are more used to Ace on Xerath. They've seen it a lot more. Vigar has kind of just been something that he's really been focusing on this split, I would say. And so there's more unknown factors, not to mention a big team stun, which you don't really want to have to deal with if you can avoid it. Delete button is always an issue, especially if you've got a Nasus on the team, you don't want anyone else competing with his scaling.
Sure, that's a good point.
But we'll see how much a factor Foeden becomes in this. He is getting bullied quite hard by Lofi right now.
Yeah, Lofi's pretty low on mana though, so Foeden doesn't have to worry about kill threat. He did just miss a cannon minion, which is really unfortunate for a Nasus. You really want those stacks to go onto the cannon minions. They're so important. Early on, we saw Envy the Serpent land a really nice double up onto Ashaway earlier, but I mean, Sona is Sona. She's healed back up to basically full health already.
Envy's gotten a couple of good picks. Last time I checked down there, Pointy was at half health, but Sona's gonna Sona.
Probably gonna have a quick teleport back to lane by Lofi Senpai here. replenishing that mana pool. No, he's actually going to run all the way back up. So he pushed the lane, willing to sacrifice a little bit of tempo to keep that teleport available for the next few minutes.
24 stacks on Nasus so far. With Ace being aggressive, he's falling behind in minion count quite effectively here. That spread AoE from Malzahar doing a lot of work.
Yeah, if I'm Ace, I'm not too concerned about this. I mean, a 6 CS deficit when, I mean, there are 2 more minions on the side of Hermidon. So as long as Ace picks those up, it'll be similar. Yeah, Lopi Senpai is doing his best to bully this Nasus up in the top lane. But Nasus has that natural lifesteal, which just sort of allows him to sustain through the little bit of poke. Here we have Alonzi Tartaso on the first gank of the game. Hermidon, good flash. Definitely needed to do that. The stun would have landed. But still a successful gank on the side of Team Phoenix.
I'm really interested to see if Alonzi plays this Nocturne the same way he did last week, where, he, as I was saying, he uses it more like a long-range sniper rifle rather than a blunt instrument. Well, you're always seeing, you know, the Nocturne just immediately jumping in on the first target it thinks are juicy, but we saw Alonzi being very cautious, biding his time, and only going after low-health, vulnerable heroes or champions with that.
Yeah, I think that's interesting about Nocturne because you generally do think of him as a one-dimensional champion. Just a guy who jumps in, says darkness, like it's all like you just think of him as just that ultimate. He goes in, he kills somebody, or he dies. But the ability of that ultimate to just cause disarray in a team fight, if you wait on it, if you don't pop it to start the fight, but you wait for the middle of the fight, it really exposes a team that doesn't communicate well. And I'm not saying White Wolf doesn't communicate well, but we might find out if Alonzi uses that ultimate to that effect. Bandage Toss misses in the bot lane. Arcane Soda looking for a gank, but Gregosaur is able to get away from it.
We have a comment from Prowler in the chat saying, no real good choice for Lofi top side. Best thing to do is push wave, but Nasus wants wave pushed.
Yeah, at this point, I think, I mean, I used to play a lot of Nasus because I was a noob, and I don't mean to disrespect Nasus players, but Nasus is easy to play. But yeah, that's exactly what you want as a Nasus player. Oh, we have a dive, actually. Oh, look at Ace raining in the damage with the right of the arcane, and the flip picks up first blood. That's a brilliant roam from Team Phoenix early on.
Talk about the Nocturne only getting stuff done at level 6. Here comes the Xerath right, hitting level 6 and immediately getting something done.
Yeah, that was a wonderful play from Team Phoenix, in my opinion. I didn't even see Ace creep up toward that top side, and I'm sure Foeden did not expect it. They even burned his splash.
Oh, Lofi's gonna die, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, oh my goodness. That's a big mistake. To give something right back in that situation.
Angry Nasus.
That's a big mistake, actually, from Lopi Senpai, because everything was working the way you would have wanted it to in that lane. But giving that kill back over to Nasus, you don't have teleport, which means he gets a free lane for the next 40 seconds or so. Honestly, if you're a Nasus, probably, you'll take that. Like, I'll die once in exchange for getting a kill.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, sure, now you end up being about 200 gold down, but you get the stacks from landing that Q on a hero kill. It's all worth it. Champion kill.
Exactly. And you get free stacks on this entire minion wave. I mean, that's, for a champion with literally infinite scaling, you'll take that.
We do see Prime Eden moving down a little bit. Nope, changes his mind. Oh, they're going for Dragon.
Yeah, they're looking for the Drake. It's a Cloud Drake, which I know as casters we are often split on. I know it seems like about half of us really think Cloud Drake is great, and half of us don't. But it appears that White Wolf are happy to prioritize it. Basically going to be for free.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of how you feel about Cloud Drake, keeping it away from a team that has Singed on it, I think, is a good thing.
That's a solid point. And yeah, I mean, especially if you can just get it straight up for free.
Right, why not?
The other team isn't going to fight you for it.
Next one will be another Cloud Drake.
Happy to have it.
Looks as though Alonzi is heading up here. Interested to see if they're going to be able to get anything done against Faux Eden. He's relatively far back. Well, here
Does
comes
have
the
no
darkness.
flash.
He does ult though.
He gets the flip down. Yeah.
They should get
does
this.
pop the ultimate, but I don't think
Might
he's
kill
gonna be able to
LNZ
survive.
here.
One more Q. Yeah, Alonzi Tart is stuck around too long. They do eventually get the trade kill, but oh man, yeah. I think Alonzi Tardis needed to back off there for a moment and just sort of let the poison damage. Keep yourself at a not a melee distance because
Right.
it was very clear one more Q was gonna kill you.
Yeah, that's another
Faux
issue.
Eden. Twice they've roamed up to kill him, but he has gotten a response, and that's fine as a Nasus.
They are getting a lot of plates up here though.
That is true.
Here comes Arcane Soda to try to help out. Good stun to interrupt any shenanigans.
Yeah, it seems like Team Phoenix, they've had... Oh, actually, they popped the Ghost. They're looking for Arcane Soda, but Lopi Senpai is going to go down under the turret. Can Ace actually kill Arcane Soda? Good flash away from the Mumu. Right of the Arcane.
He does have flash. He better use it.
Yeah, he is going to get run down here by Foe. Oh, I don't think that's going to be enough, my friend. Shocking Lord comes
Oh, he
out.
juked the other
Can it
way.
save him just long enough. Heroic entrance comes in from Gregor Sword. That should keep Ace alive. Now will Foe Eden drop? They get the Ignite down. The Nasus is going to drop. What a shocking one from Ace. Through the wall, Gregorsaurus with an incredible roam to keep his mid laner alive and make that trade in favor of Phoenix, because it looked like White Wolf was about to finish that off. Another flash taunt, another Shocking Orb.
Oh my
Ace is
God.
3 for 3 on Shocking Orbs in the last 20 seconds, and they were all so important for that exchange.
And this is one of the things that Phoenix does amazing, is these sorts of team roams that they're able to do. What other support is going to end up being cross-map to help out in the top lane? It's Gregosaurus, that's who.
Yeah, no, that was a wonderful example of team play. Meanwhile, though, in the bottom lane, I think Envy the Serpent might go down flashing from Pointy Ball.
That's a lot of turret
Drops
shots,
the
though.
Turret, he does drop, and Envy got the hit onto him, so it's not an execute. So a good job by Envy, and he actually came out ahead in terms of summoner spell trades. So Team Phoenix, yeah, that top lane exchange was just incredible. It felt like both teams were making the right play over and over again. But Team Phoenix is just a little faster to react. They get the Rift Herald, they'll pick up the Eye. And Ace with double buffs in the mid lane is going to be annoying for Primiden to deal with.
3.2 gold lead currently here in favor of Phoenix. Let's check out some of the differentials in terms of gold. Yeah, Ace has got an 800 gold lead over Malzahar right now.
And there goes Alonzi again. They're jumping in onto Faux Eden. They really want to keep this Nasus down. He is getting hit by the Veer, but here's Karma's Arcane Soda. He can't quite land the bandage toss. Right of the Arcane will not pick up the kill, and now can Tardis get away? He will. Look at everybody reacting up to that play so quickly, though. Ace, another Shocking Orb on him for me.
Little greedy there.
And the last Arcano Pulse, he does indeed. Gets the kill on to his counterpart in the mid lane. And now I think Phoenix will be able to take that first turret. Arcane Soda and Ace now dueling. Curse of the Sad Mummy comes out just defensively. Arcano Pulse. Ace is in MVP mode in game 1 so far.
Now a 1300 gold lead in that mid lane. That was incredibly interesting. I don't know if White Wolf is just feeling a little overwhelmed here, but I feel as though Prime Eden isn't quite utilizing Malzahar the way you'd expect him to be. I was looking for an ult there, but didn't happen.
I mean, it has to be said, you don't want to be too critical, but I mean, Primiden, he was subbed out recently, by no fault of his own, but he was subbed out. You wonder if maybe there's a little bit of synergy that they haven't played together as much recently, at least as Team Phoenix has. But regardless, I do feel like both teams are reacting and playing really well. Meanwhile, Envy the Serpent is going to get taken down by the crescendo combo. He went a little too deep there, and now you got teleports coming in. Fo Eden is jumping onto Lopi Senpai, trying to get some revenge onto this Singe. He should be able to run him down eventually. No, Prim Eden will just kill him as he runs towards him. No, what a great flip. Lopi Senpai is actually going to limp away just barely. That is the fury of playing against the Singe. But the second Cloud Drake will go over to the side of White Wolf.
The fact that both Ace and Lofi survived that is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it was silly. You just felt like, okay, at least one of you has to die. But somehow they get away.
2 Cloud
yeah.
Drakes, though, is going to be very interesting.
Third Right of the Arcane does not land on a Prim Eden. He will survive in the mid lane. But yeah, what I was saying, you do feel like both teams have actually been reacting to the other's plays very well so far. It's just been Phoenix coming out ahead in a couple plays by just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, except for that mid lane, the scores are relatively even. 400 gold, or well, I mean, top lane obviously is doing a little better because they got those 3 assists under their belt. But if you're just looking at the stat lines, it's relatively similar. We are going to have another collapse here, possibly. Oh, 2 wards thrown down. Probably not.
Actually, Phoenix has to be careful here as Arcane Soda is coming down.
Yeah, that is the great thing about Amumu. If everyone's grouped together, he can be the big equalizer.
Exactly. Yeah, I do feel like at this point, though, this game has pretty much hinged on the fact that Gregosaurus roamed up to the top lane for that one big skirmish, and the support of White Wolf, Ashaway, wasn't there. And that's by no fault of Ashaway. I mean, Sona obviously just doesn't have the same mobility as a Galio. But that was what turned around one of the key skirmishes up on that side of the map.
Looks like Ace and LNZ come in to bully Arcane Soda here. Gregosaurus is waiting in the wings. See what happens.
Oh, this could be a flash on onto 3. He goes in. He doesn't really have the support yet. They were a little late on following up, but the bullet time will be enough to pick up 1. Alonzi Tardis flashes away. They pick up 1 free kill. Right, the Arcane is going to come out. I don't think it'll pick anything up. So Phoenix, a good setup there. I think it could have been a little bit better. Gregosaurus landed the 3-man taunt, but the rest of the team wasn't quite there right away. Still, a positive play for Phoenix. Lopi Senpai and Fo Eden dueling in the top lane. Sort of a wet noodle fight up here. You don't expect either to kill the other at this point.
I don't know. I mean, Nasus is at 270.
Ashaway could be in trouble here. Oh, there's another Arcano Balls from Ace. This guy, 5-0-3, a 2-time former champion, if I'm not mistaken. He has come to play in the finals tonight.
3-time, I believe.
Ah, dang it. I knew I was taking a chance, so I decided to choose a number.
I don't know. I mean, he's playing really risky here, and you would think against a pick comp he'd be being punished for it a little more than he has been. So I'm not sure how to feel about what's going on right now. Like, when he took that big step forward against the Malzahar, I was just screaming in my head. Probably was saying 2-time. Wasn't he on 12 Phoenix and 12?
He was not on the Team Phoenix winning team from 2 splits ago. That was Von Hohenheim.
Oh, that was Hohenheim. All right.
Yeah.
So 2-time then.
Thanks, bro, Prowler. Got my back. But yeah, so, I do agree with you, though. I mean, the potential for White Wolf to punish an immobile mage like Xerath if he oversteps is definitely there. I haven't seen Pointy Ball land a consequential arrow yet. And you have to imagine, I mean, Pointy Ball's a good player. He will eventually hit an important Enchanted Crystal arrow.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that will be the way maybe this game turns around.
Ash arrows were huge in several games recently, to the point where she got banned, actually. So I'm expecting that to happen again at some point here. Like, I mean, one of these Singed Nasus fights, an arrow, that'll quiet Singe down.
Yeah, you have a lot of champions setting up near the top lane right now. The bottom lane of Phoenix is here. A lot of people from White Wolf also hovering around, so people are expecting something to happen here. Meanwhile, I mean, Ace and Tardis are pushing mid lane, but I don't think they have any threat of actually pressuring this turret.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like you said, there's a big cluster up here, and it looks as though they might be trying to collapse on Arcane Soda.
Ocean Drake to come up in about 10 seconds. So we'll see if either team prioritizes that or no, they're going for the dive onto Foeid. They know everyone's around here, but they're just so confident they can get something. Ace gets locked up under the turret. There's the over-aggression that we were waiting to see get punished. Envy the Serpent is going to drop 2. Heroic entrance will not be heroic enough, and Phoenix oversteps. They get 1, but they lose 2. And White Wolf could immediately transition down for that third Drake if they wanted to.
I'm really confused as to what the thought process was for that attack under the turret. I mean, you're going up against a Nasus under turret with his team helping him.
Yeah, they had to know that there were reinforcements from White Wolf right there. It seemed like a little bit of a reckless decision, almost one of those ones where, like, we decided a minute ago we were going to dive this Nasus, so we're just going to do it regardless. Alonzi Tardis is trying to sneak away this dragon really quick. He might actually get it, which I think would be a big mistake for White Wolf.
Yep.
Yeah, I think White Wolf just sort of, they took too long to recall and reset. And somehow Phoenix, despite losing that fight, were able to march down and get that dragon out from under.
Easiest dragon of Alonzi's life right there.
So taking stock of everything at this point, I mean, Team Phoenix, they're up about 4k gold, almost 4k. Down 2 Cloud Drakes, but up an Ocean. So not a huge deficit overall in terms of Drakes. But so much of the gold is on Ace and a mobile mid laner that you still give White Wolf a chance as long as they can lock down that Zerath.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd give him a chance if Phoenix keeps taking those really silly fights. 400 stacks on the Nasus now. He is getting really big really fast. They gotta... I think maybe that's why they did it. Maybe they're really scared of what the Nasus is going to become, or is already.
Yeah, well, you do have an immobile mid laner and a mobile AD carry. I mean, Misfortune has a movement speed buff, but oh, right as the Arcane comes out, they're looking for it in the mid lane, but they won't find it. Here comes Paranoia. They jump in, looking great, Shocking Orb onto Arcane Soda. He does drop to the double up of Envy the Serpent. They also got Pointy Ball. A 2 for 0 goes over to the side of Team Phoenix. That's exactly the tempo acceleration they needed, because we do know that they will get outscaled in this game if they don't keep pressing the tempo.
Right. Top and bot lanes taken down there. Big taunt by Gregosaurus also.
Yeah, they land another Shocking Orb after the flash taunt from Gregosaurus. They take down Primudin in the mid lane. Envy the Serpent taking very low, but they juggle the turret aggro successfully. And Team Phoenix, they're rolling now after a little bit of a hiccup over the last 5 minutes.
There'll be another Ocean Drake coming up. They're all going back. I'm glad they're going back. I had this vision in my head of them just immediately turning on Baron all at half health, just getting destroyed.
Yeah, it would not have gone well. If Eden has teleport, would have just gone in there and ripped them to pieces probably. But I do think that's a good point that you brought up previously about them maybe just being very, very terrified of this Nasus because they do have no mobile carries. Misfortune, I mean, can run fast, but has no dashes, has no blinks. A Nasus Wither just shuts you down. It's not inconceivable to think of Foeden carrying fights like 1v4 if this game goes too long.
Right. I mean, let's talk about... Ooh. Ace, meanwhile, gets caught by that arrow there.
Yeah, they do an arrow, and in goes Arcane Soda looking for the Crimson Sad Mummy. He should be able to get Ace eventually, but how will the rest of the fight go? In the backline, Pointy Ball is gone already. Alonzi Tardis got in right in the Arcane. Ace somehow escaped. He turns around, rains down the artillery, and they just take down almost all of White Wolf. Gregosaurus just trying to flee from Foeden. He might go down eventually. No, now they will probably just fight this poor Nasus. around Wopi Senpai pushing for free in the top lane. So there you have the weakness of Nasus, which is that he has no mobility himself. If he can't get on to somebody and they just kite him around, there's not really much he can do without the help of teammates, and his whole team was gone by the
Very,
time he arrived.
very true. But the other thing to keep in mind is that Nasus has not been involved in team fights yet.
Mm-hmm.
So Foeden needs to actually join the fight, help his team out, and then I think they're going to be in great shape. I mean, let's talk about this Nasus for a second. He deals 700 damage, almost 800 damage every 2.5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And that's without the Trinity Force proc as well.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, no, you're absolutely right. I didn't watch closely enough. I'm not sure if Foeden was late on the teleport there to that fight, or if they just got killed so quickly. I don't think Foeden was wrong to be in the side lane when that fight started, but everyone on White Wolf just melted before he could arrive.
Yeah, I mean, and the bit where Ace somehow managed to survive getting jumped on by Arcane Soda, that was just amazing play by Gregosaurus Rex. He was constantly interrupting what Arcane Soda wanted to do, body blocking, all sorts of great support stuff.
Yeah, that was a wonderful fight from Team Phoenix. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but throughout the season I thought that they had immaculate team fighting abilities, and I think they were on full display there. Wopi Senpai pops the ultimate just to sort of clear that wave out. Gregosaurus looking for another taunt. Pointy Ball, good dodge. And now they get the arrow down, looking for the Galio. Gonna pick on the support. Bullet time comes out, and now Gregosaurus will go down. They should catch on to Envy as well. Team Phoenix with a mistake here. They left their bottom lane all alone. Bandage toss lands. Envy the Serpent. He will pop the heal. If he can get away from this, I would be shocked, but another bandage toss should be coming out any second now. Volley will actually finish off. So Phoenix trying to take something up in the top lane. They have to be careful though, because the rest of White Wolf could collapse down onto them as they try to retreat. Wopi Senpai goes down, so there are only 2 on the map. I'm really surprised I don't see Pointy Ball and Arcane Soda coming up to cut this off. They do get 4. Now do you go for the Baron right here? I think if you're White Wolf, you should go straight to Baron.
I would agree with that. I mean, you've got 30 seconds. But it looks as though they're pinging for the dragon instead, maybe?
No, that was a ping. That was a ping from Phoenix onto the dragon.
Was it? It was red for me.
Oh, it was blue for me. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Spectator client. Who knows what's going on? But in any case, it is White Wolf onto the Baron now, so maybe an overreach from Phoenix that could get White Wolf back into the game. They come out with the scrying orb, so they do know what is happening. Gregosaurus is there, Envy the Serpent is alive, and there is steal potential. Gregosaurus jumps in with the taunt. He only catches 2, and now Tardis jumps in. I think he was trying to finish the Baron on his own, maybe a reckless call. He just gets melted. Gregosaurus lands a huge taunt, and now Ace is here with the AoE damage, but the Baron never reset, so it does go down. There's the arrow onto Ace. He's gonna drop as well, and look at White Wolf on the hunt in the last few minutes, completely turning this game around.
Yeah, that was a big couple of really questionable plays from Phoenix in this first game here. We're gonna probably get another Ocean as well here. Huge
Yeah, that was just
plays.
Yeah, Phoenix just overreaching about 3 times in a row, and White Wolf punishing them every single time, took greater consequence, took greater punishment
This
each time.
this has to be fear of the late game.
Sure.
This just has to be what it is. They have to be tunnel visioning because they're terrified of the Nasus, because they're terrified of the Ashe.
Yeah, trying too hard to accelerate the game. I mean, it all started from Gregosaurus and Envy the Serpent being caught alone in the mid lane. You had 3 members of Phoenix up near the top side. They did get that inhibitor, but then by getting that inhibitor, they stuck around too long, got picked off. Baron was free. They tried for a steal attempt, but didn't do it very well. But it all stems from getting picked off in that mid lane.
And I mean, Nasus can now basically 3-shot their tanks. So that's going to be another issue. That being said, Ace of Zareth can do huge damage to Pointy Ball and Ashaway. So the ADCs are not really safe yet. Ace has not the
Oh, arrow comes out. They landed onto Ace again. The Xerath is gone one more time. We talked about Pointy Ball needing to land those arrows. He has been for the last few minutes. And as much as Ace was dominating this game in the early stages, he has been dominated since then.
Yeah, there's that focus that's really hurting him quite a lot here. Singe trying to bully Nasus, but Nasus doesn't even care. I mean,
Yeah, this isn't going to go well. As you said, Boeden can three-shot the tanks now. There's no armor onto Loki Senpai. The only armor he's going to get is off of his ultimate.
his damage over time is doing a lot, though. I mean, even with Foe Eden's regeneration, he's managing to reduce it quite a bit. Distracting.
Yeah, he stalled out this push wonderfully.
And now we just need to see if Phoenix is able to take advantage of that in some way. It doesn't seem like they're going to be able to. Lofi, I don't know if you think you're being chased. Where are you going, man? Game's back
I
there.
think just doing Singe things. Trying to annoy people as much as possible. They jump in with Paranoia, looking for a pink onto Arcane Soda. They get the taunt, he will go down. So a little bit of a mistake there. Oh, this might be overambitious. So yes, why would you flash forward there? Look at Boeden just ripping through the team. Tardis goes down. Gregosaurus Rex is gone. They got the one pick, and then I think they got too greedy. Team Phoenix in a lot of trouble now. Loki Senpai gonna get run down.
Oh, the arrow.
Lands onto Ace. That's another one onto the Xerath. This is gonna be game one. What a turnaround from White Wolf. It all cascades away from Team Phoenix. There will be no rising again, at least until game 2.
All right, so we do see a scary Nasus. Very questionable plays here in this game 1, but not to take away from White Wolf. Very well done to carry through and win this game 1.
Wonderfully done from White Wolf. Just, they hung in there just long enough. Found their moment, and didn't shy away from it.
Found the opening they were given, yes. All right, so let's check out a score screen real quick here. And then we will hop over to the analyst desk and see what they have to say. All right, checking out some graphs. So, I mean, look at this damage. This damage is ridiculous. This does not look like a game that... I mean, I suppose with the reduction from Misfortune on there probably explains what happened. But Ace almost out-damaging twice over even a Nasus that got as fed as it did says quite a lot.
Yeah, I think so much of that game comes down to the clever Nasus pick against the Singed. Not even to criticize Lofi Senpai individually, but I mean, a Singe just cannot do much against a Nasus. And I think you saw the pressure of the Nasus and the scaling is what caused Phoenix to make a couple reckless decisions that essentially changed that game.
All right, we'll hop over to the analyst desk, like we said, see what they thought about it. Hopefully don't catch them in the middle of a shouting match. Analyst desk, what a game.
Nope. What a game indeed.
Holy cow.
That's one way to describe it.
Yep. I think we
It
can
was
take
a
one
game.
thing. We can take one thing out of that game, out of the story. Phoenix, pat yourselves on the back because you played yourselves.
I'd just call that one a clusterfuck.
Putting it lightly, I see.
Yeah.
You guys
All right.
gonna throw anything else there other than mean words, or should we head into the next game?
We can actually analyze.
Yeah, we can.
But we're just still kind of coming to terms with what we just saw throughout that game. It seemed like that Phoenix had a lot of control throughout that game. I think everybody can agree.
The
But
first
then-
15 minutes, it was all
Yep.
them.
Exactly. It's just a few. I think a couple of people were saying it in chat, is that misplays and just sloppy play just kind of cost them. But yeah, gotta
Yeah,
get
there
lucky.
wasn't,
Or Prowler, you had some words.
There isn't a winner in this game 1. There's just White Wolf didn't lose.
Yeah, I would really give it to, you've got Phoenix taking advantage of some really bad White Wolf mistakes early, and then Phoenix getting taken advantage of by White Wolf on some really bad mistakes late. It's just who made the mistakes early versus late if you're looking at the simplest explanation of this game. Both
Sure.
teams have the comps to take advantage of those mistakes with the map-wide Zerath and Nocturne, and then all the CC on the side of White Wolf. They've got CC at every position.
Mhm. And I don't know who said it, but throughout the game, I don't know if it was Fawn or maybe it was Prowler, but it seemed like that Ace seemed to be going up front for a lot of the battles there. And
Mhm.
then it seemed like that White Wolf started getting savvy to that, saying, oh, the squishiest person is going out in front to try to do some damage to us. Why don't we just retaliate? And
Yeah, there were multiple times that Ace was out of position, and then as soon as they saw that, Ash Arrow, pick him
Yep.
off.
Well, I mean, weird choices. All we had Malzahar that didn't use their ult until 13 minutes. We had a gankless Amumu until 14 minutes. We had Singed hard pushing a wave into a Nasus to free farm. Again, I don't see anyone who made a lot of really good plays in this one. It's just White Wolf made less mistakes and had a Nasus that could scale the late game in a just cluster of a game. This is not the type of play we're accustomed to seeing in the finals of the LCUS.
Well, that seems like a reasonable note to leave it on. We'll take a quick break here, head to game two, see if Phoenix can redeem themselves, or if Wolf can take advantage of their lead and get a 2-0 in this best of five. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.